Hello and welcome to Blythe Business News. For this edition, I'm joined by Peter Levine. Peter is chairman of AIM-listed President Energy. President sits with a market capitalisation of around £37 million. President, an oil and gas company active in principally Argentina, but also Louisiana and Paraguay. But today we are not talking, I don't think, very much about President Energy. Peter, welcome onto Blythe Business News. Now, within the President setup, you have a thing called Atome. Tell us what it is.
Yeah, the thing is a company which is a hydrogen and ammonia production company.
And I believe you're intending to spin this off out of President, list it separately. Now, tell us why do you want to do that, and when do you want to do that?
Right. Well, first of all, my view is that hydrocarbon business and renewable business, i.e. green businesses, don't go together, particularly in a company. And actually, this has been reinforced recently because Eni has decided to spin out its renewable business. I can't say we thought about it first, but we actually did. The bottom line here is that it is not compatible. It's a different audience, investor audience, and it's a different type of appreciation. Furthermore, our market cap itself is not reflective of our hydrocarbon business. So we don't want our market cap to effectively deflate the value of what is a very exciting renewable business. And that's why we're going to spin it off. It's an entirely separate business with a green board, and we're going to take it to the market. We're planning to do that later this year. As I said, different entire type of audience, different board, different objectives, and completely separate from President Energy.
I've heard hydrogen described as the holy grail of the green energy market, but yet some 95% of hydrogen is still produced from fossil fuels. Now, if I've got this right, the plan behind Atome is green hydrogen and ammonia. Tell us about why that's the prize for investors and how you hope to get there.
Well, it's a very big prize, Tim. It's an extremely big prize. It's estimated by one very reputable investment bank that it will be a $10 trillion market by 2050. That's green hydrogen. Now, it's a very good question that you raise. The thing is that you're quite right. 95% of all hydrogen is actually produced from fossil fuels. Now, we all know in the last short period of time that those fossil fuel prices have materially increased, which opens up a significant window for green hydrogen. In any event, there is a significant pressure with it. It's EU and elsewhere, and by the way, COP26 is coming up shortly in Scotland, that to move away from anything to do with fossil fuels, including hydrogen generation. Now, to come back to your phraseology, there's another phrase I'm going to say, that hydrogen has also been described as the Swiss Army knife of energy. Why is that? Because actually it can fulfill hard to deal with applications such as heavy goods transport and marine and industrial purposes. Because batteries can't really do this. They can't really drive heavy goods vehicles across long periods. They can't handle cargo ships. Hydrogen, through its carrier ammonia, can do this. Hence the phraseology, Swiss Army knife. It can do a lot of things, and we certainly believe it is the future. And there's a significant prize involved, which is why we, as Atome, currently within President, but going outside, will want to be involved in this. And that is why we feel that it is the appropriate time to float the company.
All right. You believe it's right, and the market sounds very exciting. What is it, though, that's going to make Atome special?
Well, one of the things that's going to make Atome special, it will start off, we envisage, with a significant shareholder base, because what we're going to do as president is we are intending to declare a dividend in specie of the majority of president shares in Atome immediately prior to the float. Now that means that effectively we are porting all of the shareholder base in President, leaving, of course, the shareholders in President, but we're giving them, effectively, by way of dividends in specie, free shares to start off with in Atome, simply by effectively giving them a substantial part of President's existing holding in Atome, which will mean uniquely that we start off with 600 plus shareholder base, with institutions as well as high net worth individuals, as well as regular private investors to start off with as a base in that public company. That is very unusual, Tim. And so that is what we're doing as one of the pluses. Obviously, we're then giving new investors the opportunity to climb on board this very exciting train. And I believe we're going to be the first, if not one of the first, to actually go on the market as a dedicated small, medium-sized cap hydrogen and ammonia, green hydrogen ammonia production company.
So you're going to come to market very well set up with established shareholders. Let me just drag you back, though, to the market for hydrogen. You talked about the leading investment bank, but Peter, what is it? Why do you think this hydrogen and ammonia market is going to grow so much? And what's going to make Atome a sensible investment for people who are interested in this market?
Because it's an essential component to get to net zero. Let's not fool ourselves. Most of the emissions that there are created from fossil fuels. We are a fossil fuel company. We appreciate that as President. And therefore, there is a drive in 2050 for net zero emissions. There's a substantial body of countries who have joined up to that commitment. And therefore, what we feel is, and we're not alone here, many people and many commentators and experts, that drive must include as a component hydrogen. There are other components, but hydrogen, for the reasons I've given you, is going to be, in our view, an essential component in order to fulfill that goal of net zero emissions, 1.5 degrees centigrade limit in terms of increase in temperatures. It's essential, and it is going to be increasingly valuable, increasingly sought after, and that's why we're on board that train, and that's why we feel this train must leave the station as soon as possible, and we are going to be part of it.
You've talked about the company, you've talked about how you're going to float it, when you're going to float it. You've given us a sense of the scale of the market and the potential growth in this market. Let's just talk about Atome today. What's the state of the business, and what can investors be looking forward to in terms of short to medium term news flow?
We're involved in 2 countries. We cannot, for commercial reasons, at this moment, identify those countries. But what I can say to you is they will be revealed nearer the time of the flotation, which, as I've said, we're aiming for towards the end of this year. And the key for us is that there has to be 24/7 stable baseload of electricity to enable us to generate green hydrogen by use of electrolyzers, and then by use of the Haber-Bosch process into ammonia as appropriate. So what sets us effectively apart in this regard is we've identified 2 countries. We have already got established management in those countries. We're working in those countries right now. We have MOUs signed in those countries, and we're working towards effectively gaining the 24/7 stable baseload of green hydrogen. We do not have to build generation plants. We don't have to build solar farms. We don't have to build wind farms, because the green electricity is already being generated there. So that's the first thing that sets it apart. The second is that in those markets, there is domestic demand and government support. One, we've already said, is in Europe with all the benefits of EU and the subsidies, and the other is in the Americas with all the benefits of growing economies. So the keys are, to us, stable 24/7 green electricity production on tap already there, without CapEx having to build out that power generation source in some form or other, and also the end market. The middle market is, of course, electrolyzers. That's a matter of time. And there are many companies now entering in the market into electrolyzer business. And we feel that the electrolyzer business is effectively going to be the meat and the sandwich in due course. They are effectively going to be simply manufacturing it, and they're going to be dependent on the end market. And with increasing competition and costs coming down, just like in solar panels, how it used to be, that effectively we will be able in due course, and this is a medium to long-term project. We're thinking of starting our first project probably back end of 2023 commissioning to the start of 2024. By that time, the market in terms of equipment will be expanded. Lots of other entrants are going to be there, lots of other ideas how to make it more efficiently from an equipment point of view. So we're going to be there. To us, the important things are supply of electricity in the right place, including water and land, and the end market. Those are the key issues.
Well, Peter, thanks for that. Leaving us with the tease there of we don't know which two jurisdictions you're going to be in, but I'm sure that will be revealed in due course. Thanks for joining us today. That was Peter Levine, Chairman of President Energy, but focused very much at the moment on the spin-off of Atome and the enormous potential that company will have as it embraces or enjoys the green hydrogen revolution. That's it from Blythe Business News for today. Thanks for watching.